Society has the ability to alter the way in which we perceive the meaning of certain words. As a result, the rise in obesity rates has gone unnoticed due to society not knowing the true meaning of obesity, and therefore the issue has become neglected. Obesity can be simply defined as weight that is higher than what is considered as a healthy weight for a given height. A body mass index, or BMI for short, is used in order to define what a normal weight, overweight, or obesity is for any given height. In other words, BMI is a measure of your weight relative to your height to give the total amount of body fat. Having a total amount of body fat of 30 or over is considered obesity. Here we see an example of a body mass index chart. Along the vertical axis is listed various heights, and the horizontal has the weight. As you find your height and weight, you can find the intersection point, and there lies the estimate of your total body fat. The color corresponds to the category of underweight, healthy, over, or obese. For example, if you are 5 foot 6 inches and weigh 160 pounds, you are considered to be overweight. This, however, evidently does not reflect the vast majority of people because muscle mass weighs more than fat. The current rising obesity rates in Canada can be linked to many changes of society that is being reflected by those suffering from obesity. Firstly, portion sizes of the food we buy at fast food restaurants and, say, the movies have increased dramatically over the years, as you will see in the next slide. Next, advertising, as we know, has an effective result on society. Now it is 50% food-based. In addition, the total advertising budget from, say, 1976 has doubled for just the child advertising, not even including advertisement for adults. Next, the prices of food has doubled from 2014 to 2016 for just, say, a bag of carrots, as well as the meat prices, so it is evident that eating healthy has a cost to it. Therefore, these factors of the environment around a person becomes a poor eating habit, plus then physical inactivity leads to obesity. As shown in this graph, it is evident that portion sizes have increased by mass amounts over the past 50 years, feeding society more unhealthy food for cheaper prices. Obesity has become a clear social issue, as the Canadian Obesity Network says 1 in 4 adult Canadians and 1 in 10 children have clinical obesity. This means 6 million Canadians are living with obesity. 1 in 4 adults. This means at least one person you know suffers from obesity. Whether a parent, sibling, family member, or teacher, this issue is no longer just affecting those suffering, but those around them. Obesity has become a global issue that not only has physical effects, but mental effects as well. Society has created a stigma and negative stereotypes for those suffering from obesity, classifying these 6 million Canadians as unmotivated, lazy, and incapable of leading a joyful life. Obesity has several effects on the body, such as heart disease, stroke, type 2 diabetes, and high blood pressure. Not only physical effects, but mental effects, such as depression and anxiety, also affect those suffering from obesity. Sedentary lifestyles are becoming more prominent nowadays due to the presence of technology. A sedentary lifestyle is a way of living with little to no exercise. This results in a person burning fewer calories, having a loss of strength and a loss of endurance, and a slower metabolism, which is the body's way and ability to break down fats and sugars. The result of this lifestyle is gaining of weight and thus leading yourself down the path of obesity. A sedentary lifestyle has a large connection to physical activity. Benefits of physical activity includes lowering blood glucose levels, supplying your body with energy, decreasing stress levels, improving mental health, including confidence and well-being, increasing strength, and reducing the risk of over 25 chronic conditions. Such benefits contrast the effects of a sedentary lifestyle. Therefore, physical activity serves as a direct link to reverse the negative effects of this way of life. Obesity further constrains individuals' participation in physical activity and physically and mentally. Firstly, obesity renders those more prone to injuries due to the weight on their knees and back. It restricts their mobility and dexterity, and individuals are limited to clothing equipment needed for certain sports. In addition, mental constraints of individuals suffering from obesity includes depression, anxiety, the stigma of obesity, and society's stereotypes, and the person's inner dialogue can restrict their own participation in physical activity. An important question that we must ask ourselves and society is who is truly at fault for the rising obesity rates in Canada. When asked this question to a student at A.Y. Jackson Secondary School, she replied saying the government and society in general are at fault for making unhealthy food really cheap and healthy food really expensive and unaffordable, which doesn't make sense because these healthy foods aren't or shouldn't be undergoing any processes. They should just be harvested then sold. The government is also at fault for making sugary foods seem healthy for kids that parents buy thinking they are healthy, which is causing child obesity. Next, a second student, when asked who is at fault for the rising obesity rates in Canada, answered, I think it's the greed of capitalist corporations. For example, large companies such as McDonald's care more about profit than they do about the well-being of their customers. And therefore, through advertisements directed towards the general public, these companies are able to influence our everyday lives. In conclusion, it is evident that the rise in obesity is a global issue that needs to be recognized by society in order to alter our lifestyle to avoid this path we are all headed down. Obesity can happen fast and can affect any one of us. We must begin to educate ourselves and others further on the importance of physical activity to reverse these effects. It starts with just one person, and that person can be you.